Welcome to our very first podcast. Today I'm here with my boyfriend, Tim Biso. We're both professional surfers and content creators, but it hasn't always been that way. We've been through a lot of lows and a lot of highs together. Today we're going to walk you through the 7 years that we've had traveling the world, surfing, and figuring our life out together. So I hope you enjoy it. It's our first podcast. Yeah, babe's here with me. I'm pretty nervous, but I'm going to do my best. I figured my entire life is already on social media. We get to that super juicy Q&A at the end. But for now, why don't you introduce yourself and tell everyone that your name is not Babe.
True. My name is Tim. I'm 27 now.
Getting old.
Yep. And from the French Caribbean. Probably hear the French accent in my name.
Can I say, speaking of the accent, let's address the elephant in the room. Everyone has been commenting on my social media that I have your accent now. So I'm going to try my best to not have that accent, but it comes out. 7 years together. What can I say?
Yeah, I'm growing on you.
So speaking of 7 years together, I want to hear your version of how we met because everybody wants to know. And I've told mine a million times with all my girlfriends, but Lord knows boys don't do that. So
good old times. We were in Australia doing a surf contest, and I was with some friends from the US. I was traveling with them around. We had like a couple events together. From what I remember clearly, I got sent a DM.
Oh, you're going straight to the point.
Yeah.
Okay.
I got sent a DM.
Ooh, it's hot in here.
I got sent a DM by the person you were traveling with. Mm-hmm. And at the time, because I'm light-skinned, I used to wear a sarong on my face to protect me from the sun. And from that DM, I received a photo of you having a sarong on your face, tagging me.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the first entrance.
Yeah, I made the first move. Kind of. I mean, I said it. I didn't even know who he was, to be fair. Like, I wasn't a fangirl. And then I found out after, I was like, whoa, he kind of surfs really good. Like, who's this guy? But no, the friend I was with, I said it as a joke, like, put this wrong in my head. I was like, oh, at Tim Biso. And knowing that she would take a photo and probably tag him because that's what I wanted to happen. But I didn't really think much of it. I didn't really think anything was going to happen of it. And keep going.
And then I think I liked the photo.
You responded and you said cute.
I went this far.
Yeah.
I don't remember really clearly, but so yeah, I guess I responded, and your friend was hooking up with my friend. Mm-hmm. So we ended up on a cliff at sunset.
Well, don't tell me, tell them.
Yeah.
I know what happened.
We ended up on a cliff at sunset, and beautiful headland in Australia. Just really classic. Yeah, we just started chatting, and
I guess
the vibe was good.
Yeah, I remember the first time I heard him speak, I was like, what is that accent? Like, I had no idea. And we kind of just clicked on everything.
We clicked, but I also think, like, from the people we came with, we were really different than them.
Yeah.
And so that's where the separation came.
Yeah, I mean, for me thinking back, like, it was a long time ago, but I still remember so much of it. Like, it was not like yesterday, but like 2 years, you know? But I feel like we matched on energies because back in your English was not that good.
No.
Like, when I think back on this, I was just like, I still run my mouth like crazy. Like, I talk so much, especially when I'm excited and when I meet a cute boy who's all foreign. I was probably just yapping. Yappa.
Yeah. I mean, I probably didn't have much to say, to be honest.
Well, and we met this one night, and we all had a great night together. And then the next day, we had to travel to the next surf contest location.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Which was like 6 hours away. I got in the car with the girl I was driving with, and I remember we were texting each other. And the friend I was with, she was like, he texted you? Like, he's still talking to you? And I was like, yeah, like, and we got to the next location, which happened to not have like any Wi-Fi, no connection. Your mom was there.
True. Yeah, I was traveling with my mom for the
Yeah.
first time.
Yeah, and we ended up staying right next to each other. Like you were across the street, kind of.
Yeah.
But we had no way to communicate, no Wi-Fi. We just had to like kind of walk outside and like kind of hope to see each other surfing or something. That week, we spent that week together. Mm-hmm. And then I remember like I had never had a crush in high school ever. I dated a few guys and I liked them, but they were like football players and they weren't surfers, and I tried to like them, but I was like, oh, I just like, they were great guys, but this was the first time I really liked a guy. And I remember going home. I had to like do this whole excursion home. It was like, this was my first international trip too, like big trip that I ever did. I did like Costa Rica, everything there, but never all the way to Australia. And I cried like my whole way home. Like,
I remember you telling me that.
yeah, like but like happy tears, but like sad because we said bye, but like, I don't know, my little naive self, I was like, oh, bye, like I'll see you soon, you know? Like I didn't know what was happening. I didn't even think about, I've never had my heart broken. Like this is the first and only person I've ever been with. And so I have no baggage. And I was always wondering what you thought of me. Cause like I was like this little 17-year-old girl from California, which foreigners think of California as like, oh my God, whatever, like really, really like not ideal, I guess. I don't know. I was curious what you thought you were getting yourself into, but.
Well, yeah, to be honest, I came off a long relationship at that time, and I was not looking for one, especially not at that time. And so it kind of came into me like a big wave, you know? It was like, wow, I was shocked, and I was like, oh, okay, well, for me, it was never, how I would say it, it was never the douchebag act where I would never talk to you, I would never explain,
call you again the next
yeah,
year.
exactly.
Yeah.
Like that wasn't my point, because I was like, I would have not liked if somebody did that to me. So I did my best to talk to
Pay
you
your respects.
and pay respect.
Yeah, and I think about this all the time. Like, you could have ruined men for me.
Yeah.
You could have like, and the fact that the person that he is and the way that we connected, like, is the reason we're still here today. And
I
it's
believe,
crazy. Like 7 years later, like I still like whenever I tell this story, like to this day, I'm like, this is nuts, because it could have been so different. And like the fact that we met on such a whim too, like so random. Those people, you would never travel with those people.
No.
And I just think, and I was a very, how do you say? I didn't ever really get into any deep relationship with any of the guys I was with in high school. Like I kept myself, if you must. Like I did not just meet guys and talk to guys. So meeting him and just like immediately like feeling like everything was right was a gut feeling that I trusted, and like that's what's crazy to me. I'm like, yeah. So then like I got all the way back home, and we were like FaceTiming for like 2 months because you stayed in Australia.
Yeah. I had more events that year.
Yeah, and I went home and I got straight from the plane from LAX into senior prom. And I literally flew home, took a shower, put my dress on, and went to senior prom.
I remember that. Yeah.
And the guy I went to prom with too, we had things over the past years. Like 7th grade, we had a little crush on each other, and then again like in 10th grade, and then at senior prom, I remember like at one point got to the night when everybody was like kissing their dates and stuff, and he like looks at me and I was like, he was like, what, did you meet some like Australian guy or something? And I was like, oh, maybe. And
Awkward.
ever since, yeah. But no, it's still so crazy. And we were FaceTiming, and then you came back to California and stayed at Corax.
Yeah.
And I drove up every day after school. I hung out with you.
Yep. I remember that.
And so from the beginning, we've had like a very long distance kind of relationship. Like I saw you in Australia. We met, and then I didn't see you for like 2 months, and then I didn't see you again for another 3 months until
Barbados.
Yeah, and then we went to Barbados. We saw each other for like 2 days in Barbados, and we walked into the event in Barbados, and he's introducing me to his friends. He's like, "Oh, this is my girlfriend," and I was like, Okay. Because like in my culture in America, we were always like, you have to ask to be the boyfriend or the girlfriend. We never had that conversation. We just were like, yeah, this is my girlfriend. And then when I was leaving Barbados, we kind of were like, you said something so cute because your English still wasn't good. And instead of being like, oh, let's be exclusive, he was like, my heart only wants you or something.
Okay, but for the record,
I'm gonna cry.
So for the record, I didn't learn English at school.
Yeah.
I learned on the go.
Yeah.
And that is not the traditional way
Yeah.
of somebody learning English. So
Yeah.
the more I traveled to English country, the better my English was getting.
Yeah.
It just took a long time.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
had no basis.
Yeah. Yeah. And so it was very like periodic, like times of seeing each other and then a lot of time apart. And I think that way of our relationship being structured that way, like built so much trust in the beginning. And we did everything backwards. We lived together and traveled together before we even went on a dinner date, basically.
True.
Which is like everyone these days, they have dates and then they like chat for a while. And then after a few months, they like get in a relationship. And then like maybe 2 years later, they move in together. We didn't have a choice. Like we were immediately living together, immediately traveling together. And that teaches you a lot about someone. And we just vibed. Like we were chilling.
Yeah, I mean, you know me, I'm full on. It's everything or nothing.
Yeah, this is true. So anyways, I'm getting to the cute part of the story. No, so then we saw each other in Barbados and then you came back for the US Open and you were scared because you were like, you almost tried to like break it off kind of. My assumption was that it was scary. And we were about to go on the Europe leg together to do all the QSs in Europe together. We were about to travel together. And he said something so random to me. He said something like, oh, like out of the blue, just like, oh, I feel like our age is an issue. I was like, what? What are you talking about? I was like, no, I don't know. No, I don't know what you're trying to do right here, but like, we haven't even, no, we're just getting started. And you were like, I still got you. We're still going to go to Europe together. And that was it. And then we went and traveled in Europe. And then in Spain, he was at a surf contest. And I was like, oh, I think I love this boy. And then I told him that I loved him.
Did I tell you I love you back?
You did, but later. A little bit later. But I was chilling. I was like, you had a lot more baggage. I had no baggage.
Yeah,
you had a
true.
lot of baggage.
True.
Yeah.
It took to say in the relationship. It took me a long time to process all the baggage that I had.
Yeah.
Check them in, put them on the flight. See you later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but anyway, so it was kind of cool because we started that whole journey doing the QS together. How did you tell the people how you kind of got into surfing and your story a bit?
Wow. Yeah, I got into surfing when I was like 9 months old. I couldn't know how to. I guess the famous memory of my parents is like, yeah, we just attached the leash to his foot and he didn't know how to swim and it was just. He knew how to stand, but we pushed him into waves and then he would fall and then we would grab the board, grab the leash and then put him back to the surface. And like, yeah, that's how I learned how to surf. But then my dad was surfer. He was creating surfboard. He was starting his business that way. And then my mom was a makeup artist. They both met in Guadeloupe. That's where I was born. So, yeah, just surfing came naturally, You're on the island. That's what you're going to do. You're going to go to the edges and there is water and that's, you're going to find some waves.
Not much else to do than surf and cause trouble.
Yep. Yeah. Trouble guy. But yeah, just grew up over there, was very chill. And learned how to surf pretty quickly, got better, and then started to do some small contests, and then got good enough to do a few big results and travel the world, and I haven't stopped ever since.
Yeah, and that's kind of the goal, right? It's just like grow up, leave the island.
Yeah, I mean, every kid from the island, I don't know, any island in the world, just want more, They want to explore the whole world, or at least the big continents.
Yeah. How old were you when you did that?
I
I'm asking him like, I don't know.
I started traveling when I was 14.
Okay.
Yeah.
No English.
No,
No parents.
No. The funniest and toughest moments of my life happened at that time
Oh.
when I started traveling and without much communication, the basic knowledge of the outside world were unknown to me. And yeah, I was just a kid from the island and I had to do a surf contest, so I was trying to get there. That was pretty much it. And like all my friends were doing the same. So we got into groups and we were just figuring it out.
Yeah. Yeah. And I guess mine's not very similar. But my dad, again, dads are the best, right? My dad taught me how to surf when I was really young. Grew up also near the beach in Solana Beach, and I have 3 older brothers. So it was kind of inevitable that I was going to surf, and except I was a little bit like timid. I didn't like the cold water. I was only surfing in the summer when it was glassy, 1 foot, nice. And when I was like 12 or 13, I was like, oh, wetsuits actually work. Sick. And I started surfing a lot more in middle school. Did the surf team and like was winning some contests, but the whole time I was playing competitive soccer, so it's like surfing always was on the side. Surfing is individual, and in soccer was always like the team, and I was the captain of the team. I was the goalkeeper. Like I couldn't leave my girls, you know.
Yeah.
So, but then around like 16, 17, when the college recruiting process kind of started, I think I like subconsciously knew that I didn't want that. And I didn't send a single email to any coaches. And I was like, if they want me, they can ask me to come to their school, you know? And then my whole team like got split up because they changed the way they worked out the birth year for college recruiting. And I lost like all my best friends that I was playing with. And I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. And I realized that I only played soccer my whole life because I was good. And I was like, you know what? I don't want this anymore. And my brother, I remember the exact moment he told me. I was like driving down the PCH and he was like, what if you just go to community college and like do some QS? And I was like, okay, that sounds pretty nice. And yeah, so I was 17. I stopped playing soccer. And then I literally went on my first trip to Australia. And then I met you. We did a bunch of QS together. I started the QS because I wanted to travel. I didn't want to go to school yet. And I did go to school online. Like I finished school completely online, but I didn't want to go to school. And I didn't think I was the next Carissa Moore or anything. I never have thought that. I never thought I was going to qualify. I just wanted more. I wanted something else. And I just fell into this life that I like love so much. So that like day and that choice like forever is like played in my mind. I feel like I have 2 completely different lives. But yeah, so I completely just fell into this whole like content creating and traveling to these places. But then I also realized how shitty doing the QS is because you just like surf terrible waves and you spend all this money to like go and you travel. But it's back to what you were saying about like having your little friend squad with you. It's like you see all these people all around the world and it's really fun and it's amazing and you can make a career out of it sometimes, but it's definitely not easy. So I was always doing 5 things on the side, but you had everything in one basket.
Yeah. Yeah. For me, it was always it, you know. I thought that was my destiny. But you know, like they sell you this dream. The organization sell you this dream. Oh, you have to do this contest in these waves, and then if you're good enough, if you make the right result, you go to the tour, the dream. But then with the years, you know, like I was doing it when I was younger, and I was like super excited. I loved it because back then we could travel and there was like about 20 events per year. And you would travel across the world for an event and in good waves. You could do most of the contest in okay waves, in good waves.
This is true, yeah.
Compared to what we have today. And people loved it. We were surfing Cloud9 in the Philippines. We were surfing Nias. Just a ton of places. But then, yeah, on the other side, you had like big events in shittier waves. What what was the question?
No, I was just gonna say like, so what changed? Like, why? Like, what happened?
Yeah, I don't know. For me, growing up, maturing, after 100+ losses and only a few wins
And some shitty sponsors.
and some shitty sponsors, you just get over it at some point. It's not the sport. I love
Yeah.
the sport. I love the sport and I love competing. It's not even about the sport. I just feel like at this moment, I would rather, because I know I'm in my prime, I haven't surfed the best yet because I've been surfing in shitty waves, but I feel like put me in good waves and my surfing will improve. And so I have like a ticking time bomb where I'm like, hey, just try to
Live now.
live now.
Surf
Yeah.
now, yeah.
It's kind of like if you tell somebody he has a cancer and he's going to die in 5 years. And so you're like, dude, I got to do shit now. Like I lost too much time surfing bad waves and trying to pursue something where it's too there's too much things going on.
Too many factors.
There's too many factors.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm letting you kind of speak on the surfing part and what's kind of the problems with the surf industry right now, because I, like I said, I did this to travel. And like you said, we went to some amazing places. Like we had so much fun. Japan, Philippines, like we had so much fun. And they changed it to make it more financially like reasonable for the QS surfers, which maybe it is, but not if you're on the QS and the anyway, I don't want to get too technical for the people that don't know.
To be honest, it was a smart choice
The regional series.
because they thought they could build these regions where the best of the regions, which is the guys that do the most results, would get enough money to go into the challengers, which is the qualifiers for the WCT, which is the Saint Graal.
Yeah.
But the problem is that the industry didn't follow.
Yeah.
The industry didn't follow. The
know.
sponsors didn't follow. Nobody followed.
I don't know where all the money is in surfing, but it's
gone. It's been gone for the last
Yeah.
7 years.
yeah. And
Since
so
I started.
That's another thing too. Is people are like, I remember the first QS, like maybe it was like last year, someone called you a veteran, and you're like, oh my god, I've been doing this for 10 years.
Yeah.
So like I feel like I can have my opinions about surfing, but I obviously want to hear yours too, just because you've seen more of it. Surfing has not had a very long life.
I mean, the roots of surfing,
Yeah.
since people started to surf.
Yeah, but you know
it
what I mean. The
does.
competition, like
No,
it hasn't been
competition.
very
I
long.
mean, unless those few contests in Australia when they started, and the first few contests at Pipe that they did, it's not like worldwide, like to where it is today. It's not been that long.
Yeah, and I feel like also surfing's at its like most popular point ever. More people are surfing than ever before. So like I'm genuinely confused at where I'm sure it's very difficult to run a business and sponsor surfers and give them what they need, because surfers do not make a salary. Like most surfers do not make a normal salary at all. Like it's again, I don't want to speak too much on this. Yeah, but what I was gonna say was like I haven't experienced it myself, but I've been with Tim long enough to know that it's like to see it, and it's pretty fucked. Sorry, Mom. Sorry, Mom. She's not gonna like that one.
I truly believe that it's gonna come back up at some point.
It has
like
to, right?
it has to. It's not gonna. I think competitions in surfing might at some point, or people will create other tours that is more beneficial to the surfers and the sponsors.
Yeah, they have to. They wouldn't have it without the surfers.
Well, no, this whole thing stands on the surfers.
But they're the worst treated. The freaking cameramen get paid better than the surfers.
True.
And they choose locations that are better for like crowds and crowds, money, and cities instead of good waves for good surfing. So like people come to watch an event like Pipe. Of course, it was one of the only events that we actually watch.
Yeah, because we're always stoked to watch Pipe.
Yeah, like you want to watch good waves. And I think that whenever you have a show to like put on, of course people are going to watch it and you are dealing with the ocean, so it's not as easy. But like there's some places that it's just like people come down and they watch the contest and they're like, what am I watching? There's got to be something to change.
I think, and a lot of my friends would agree with this, going back to the normal format. The format I used to go on, where you could pick and choose these events for your style of surfing, or just like more wave that suits the city. Right now, WSL, the organization, is training kids that are really good in shitty waves, but as soon as they go to the world tour,
They're not prepared.
they're not prepared. How are you gonna prepare? Which is like this whole like scheme doesn't work.
Yeah, doesn't make
And
sense.
it used to, because we had great surfers coming from the QS that went onto the CT.
Yeah. Well, and like as much as they put surfers in bad waves, like people don't want to do the QS anymore. Like, so that's why, like, obviously I stopped because I was like, well, one, I wasn't making results. Like, I was spending so much money to surf for 20 minutes in terrible waves, and I'm not a good surfer in bad waves. Like, I need a wave to like kind of surf. And I remember my mom used to say, like, you only get 20 minutes. Like, can't you go to like a second round or something? I was like, no, one and done. So when they changed it and like, I was like, I have to compete in the North America region. Like I get to surf Florida, like Outer Banks when it's like ankle high, Huntington Beach, the most terrible waves in the United States. We have good waves. Like we have some good waves.
Well, you have to take in consideration that North America doesn't have a city event.
Yeah.
So there is no wave.
The only one was Coldwater Classic.
Yeah, I know, but there is no wave in North America that is world class.
Yeah.
I know there is a couple places. I'm not gonna say which places with the right swell and but these happen like once in a year. But there is no Cloud Break, there is no Pipe, there is no all these places. So for me, this is the teaching. So your best surfers of your region, which is always the same, we're not gonna lie, it's always the same
Saint Clemente.
the same Saint Clemente, a few from the East Coast.
Yeah.
And then you take these guys and then you put them into the Challenger Series, which the Challenger Series is not better. We have it's
a bit better.
It's a bit better, for sure.
Snapper Rocks.
For sure. Snapper Rocks, Insane, used to be a city event, one of the funnest wave to compete in. Manly, which was one of the worst contests ever that they changed to Narrabeen.
Which is pretty good.
Since that changed, that makes sense, and it's a great wave. To Balito. I think Balito overall is grindy, but very, very good.
You want a wave that actually like is powerful.
Well, you want a wave that's hollow.
Yeah,
because like, no matter the size, hollow point, period.
Yeah. You gonna keep going?
I mean,
you're just gonna stop at Balito. Okay, fuck the other ones.
Then you have the US Open. Which is garbage.
Yeah.
US Open is absolutely garbage.
City.
The only reason that contest is still on the map today is because it's paid by the city. If not, if there was votes, that contest would have the less votes.
Dude, imagine if the surfers voted for what events were on and which weren't.
Wow, that would be really revolutionary.
Yeah. A league where it's actually about the surfers. No, but yeah, to what I was saying, it turns off so many surfers from the QS, and I've had so many girlfriends like come up to me in the last 2 years or so and be like, "So what are you doing now? Like, you're going on boat trips? Like, can I come on one of those trips? I'm done with the QS." And That brings us to what we're doing today.
Well, everybody's trying to catch up to you. Today, it's
Don't flatter me.
no. But today, it's the truth. Everybody is trying to catch up to the ones that were brave to create content when everybody turned their back on them. I feel like everybody turned their back on the people that were starting YouTube channels, and like unless you were Jamie O'Brien in surfing, you were not getting respected.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm coming from the generation that got onto Instagram but had to share the stuff for the sponsors, but nothing else.
Yeah.
You had to kept a clean image and just don't share too much, no stories, no parties, nothing. So I feel
Which
like
is a huge change from what surfing was.
yeah, exactly. It's like surfing was one way, and then they decided, no, surfing is not that way anymore. We're gonna take it to this way. To this day, even after all my friends qualified and got professional and just true athletes.
Yeah.
Because that's what you get on the championship tour today.
Yeah.
It's true athleticism. Mm-hmm. Athleticism. Okay. True athletes.
Yes.
Okay. Yes. And I feel like they're still getting persuaded into the old generation on movies, on how people think about surfing and stuff. It's different today.
It's very
but
different.
We're still holding on to that.
We're trying to. Yeah, it's like the core surfers are like, Instagram, TikTok, like we don't want these people posting, like get them out of the surf community. But it's like, bro, these people are like, their audience is funding your contracts, your everything. So it's like, since the last couple of years, content creation has like just become a real job. Like it's just become a thing. So it's really hard for a lot of people to get behind that and understand that. And it's like, I remember you saying to me, like, when I first started TikTok a couple of years ago, I didn't expect to like grow as much as I did. And it was so fun, like sharing surfing with people. Like people were asking me questions. Like someone asked me why I was rubbing mozzarella cheese on my surfboard. And I was like, that's wax. So it just opened up this whole like perspective for me of being like, whoa, like I can talk to all these people about all this stuff. I love social media. I love posting things online. So I just started it, and I ended up growing a lot for surfing, which was so cool because like I was never recognized for my surfing before because like I can surf, but I'm not that great. And so this was so fun for me to like have this whole community, and I keep wanting to say Tim, but also babe, but Tim sounds so weird in my head. So he said to me, he's like, at one point, I was going on a boat trip and I posted a video right before going on the boat, and you don't have any service on the boat trip. And that video ended up going super viral and got me to like my first 100K followers. This was like last year, actually. And
was it last year?
It was last year.
Wow.
I know.
Imagine.
I know. So anyways, so that happened while I was on my boat trip, and you said to me, you were like, with this much reach and the engagement I was having, like everything was so good. He was like, with this much, like you're as valuable to a brand as a woman on tour. And I was like, well, I mean, like if you think about it, because for so long, so many surfers were so reserved. They didn't post a single video of them talking. They just posted their surf clips and their bikini pics, and that was it. And that you didn't know the person. And I still can say that about a lot of people. I still don't know them. And it's so much more valuable. And with content creation, you have to be real and you have to be raw and you have to like show who you are and appeal to your audience. Like you don't get by just being hot or surfing good now. Like you need to really show people more. And so I accidentally fell into this this job, and I was like, oh, this is pretty cool. And then, like, literally, was it last year? When did I go to the Maldives? Last year. Yeah. Went to the Maldives last year on a boat trip with a bunch of girls. And right before I left, I was in Australia with you for the Challenger Series. And Salt, like this bikini brand, Salt Gypsy, they messaged me and they were like, hey, like, we'd love for you to come. We see you're in Australia. We'd love for you to come down to like the factory, check it out. We see you're going to the Maldives. Like, maybe you want to take some pieces and like shoot on the trip, like shoot some content. And I was like, oh, cool. And that was literally like almost my very first like
job
paid trip of like, shoot these bikinis, go surf, shoot these bikinis. And I was like, ooh, this is sick. And I actually ended up getting like 3 more brands on that trip. So I got my trip paid and I was like, wow, like that was cool. Like maybe I can do that more. So I started like kind of grinding and hustling. And a couple months before that, I just started my business of like reviewing products, and nobody was doing that. Don't take my idea. No, but no women in the surf industry were reviewing products. And so thank you to my ex-business partner though. He brought the idea to me and he like was like, I want you to be the face of it. He has since like stepped out and it's just me now. But that was amazing. That was so fun. I love reviewing products. I love filming. I love talking to the camera and like surfing. And so doing all of these things all at once. I'm also a personal trainer, but that's just on the side. But so all these things and just posting about my lifestyle and then like giving brands content, which is valuable to them, was like this just way to wrap up everything I loved into my job. And over the last year or so, traveling with Tim still, like I did my own trips here and there in between the events, and we spent our fair time, not that much time apart last year.
Yeah.
A little bit. But yeah, and you just had probably one of the worst years ever last year.
Yeah, worst
So it was really hard. I was having like the best year of my life, and you were having like the worst
the
year of your life.
contrast, huh? The
Yeah.
contrast. I was going to surf in Tinton and she was going to Indo in the Mentawais. Yeah, that's a contrast for you guys. Yeah, had a terrible year last year, and something had to change. I think even my last event that I just did a couple weeks ago, I was in the water and I was like, instead of like going at the job, the task at hand, and I was just like so over it. The waves were so bad. It was like 4 foot dumping, shore break, reforming, 15 foot outside. Like I was just so over it. And I wasn't mad. Usually I'm a very emotional person.
Oh yeah, when he would lose a heat, it was like, oh, get out of the way.
Yeah,
Watch
yeah.
out.
When I lose the heat,
But
don't-
before, you haven't been like that in a long time.
Yeah, because I'm slowly maturing and slowly I'm getting less and less aggressive with my emotions.
Well, you were also you became very like professional and like humble and like you don't see anybody do that on tour these days. They're mature, they're
Oh, no, you see
experienced. Yeah, but not really. Like you were very, very like controlled and
I just believe that you lived through me in my career. Just like you
I
were,
watched it all happen.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
So I feel like if you were going through their career, you would probably see the same, the same exact thing, but at a different level. Yeah, it just sucks when your whole life you've been planning on achieving something, and you get close to it, but just not there yet. You know, and it's like we're so many. I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I'm saying like this is on me right now, but there is 150 surfers that are in the same situation as I am.
Yeah.
That has no sponsors, or sponsors are barely giving them money,
Yeah.
and they're just struggling.
I actually made a TikTok recently. I didn't post it though because I might post it still. But it was like it was a little savage. I'm not gonna lie. And again, I don't really feel credible enough to post something like this. But because I've experienced what he's lived, it's like I feel like I get it. But like I was basically just comparing because like I watch these videos on TikTok of like I love watching girls do their makeup. And these influencers, like granted they have millions of followers and they probably make the brand millions of dollars. But the brands are literally like flying on private jets, like these influencers out to like Bora Bora for 5 days and getting them like designer, like the money is insane. And I get that's comparing makeup to surfing. Like that's so not
But
the
they
same
used
thing.
to do the same thing in
But they,
surfing.
yeah, but they see the brands are seeing the value for these influencers, and so I did like a little like skit thing of like what the makeup brands do versus the surf brands being like, oh well, like did you give him a t-shirt and a hat? And he's still complaining, like what? Like brands like, oh yeah, like put some stickers. We're family. We're family.
Yeah, classic.
You're never going anywhere.
Classic 14-year-old in France getting a sponsor.
Yeah, and I love it too because I talk to like some of my girlfriends that don't know much about surfing, and they're like, so just like everybody who has a sticker, are they all getting paid like 50 grand a year?
Yeah,
I'm like, oh,
sure.
no, probably like 1% of the people with a sticker on their board, you see them getting paid.
Yeah, 1% is even generous at this day and age.
Yeah. And so now,
well, I'm happy you helped me out. I'm happy you helped me out, and I definitely found the right combination of things.
I told myself I wasn't going to finish your sentences. in
Yeah,
this podcast,
yeah.
so sorry.
Let me talk.
Sorry.
Yeah, I don't know. Since very young, I was really into photography and videography. It's just things, just like surfing, it comes natural to you.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, it feels right. I just feel like I have a way and I see something and I'm like, that would look cool.
Yeah, no, you do have an amazing eye.
Yeah, so...
For me, you don't even give context of why you just started talking about photography.
I was.
Yeah, no, but I was watching the person that I love the most, like, go through the shittiest time. And, like, you were so down. And, like I watched in COVID, like, when COVID happened, I watched you, like, get all depressed, like, working at a restaurant and, like, hating your life. And so, I was raised on, like, okay, do as many jobs as you can at once, like, make sure you're enjoying them, and then, like, see which one takes off, and da-da-da. So I've always had, like, all these different types of things going on that I really like. So I can kind of, like, pick and choose my route, and I can create this career. And I definitely didn't have my eggs in one basket, and you did. And then so in my head, I'm like, well, why doesn't he just, like, try to do this or try to do that? But you're so, like, we just think different. Like, you're so all or nothing. And so I was watching him, like, contemplate, like, oh, do I go back to a restaurant? And I was like, that was, like, making my heart break, like, for you. Like, I was like, I don't want to see that. Like, I don't want to watch that. I was like, what can I do? Like, what can I do? So, because he's not going to start posting TikToks and talking to the camera. Like, that's not him.
Hell no.
So it's not as easy to just be like, oh, we'll just, like, start posting on social media. Like, it's not the same. So, but
I feel like a lot of people can relate to that, you know?
Yeah.
A lot of people are truly amazing about things.
Yeah.
It could be anything, but they're not willing to,
they don't
share it that way.
Yeah. And so once you, like, kind of unlock that, like, monetization of whatever you love, it's incredible, but it's way easier said than done. And so, Tim, you were always really into, like, photography, and I remember when you got your first drone and you were, like, a kid in a candy store, and, like, for me it's so nice to watch you, like, be super passionate about something, because he's always like, no, I don't want to do that. No, I don't want to do that. Like,
no, I'm not like that.
With a lot of things, but then the things you do like, you're, like, all in. Yeah. And it's really nice to watch you, like, be passionate about it, because, like, I think I would, like, oh my God, nothing I would hate more than watch you do a job you hated for the rest of, like, you would be a completely different person. Like, it would be so tough. And so, anyways, we just kind of kept trying to, like, figure out a way to do it together. You're freaking amazing with the camera.
Well, I'm not amazing, huh?
But
I'm not amazing, but I'm getting better.
Yeah, but the work ethic of, like,
the work ethic is there.
The learning about, I've never seen this man watch so many YouTube videos, and he watches a lot of YouTube videos, about cameras. Like, to learn, because you can learn anything online these days. And, like, it's not just that he's like, oh, she wants me to be a videographer, like, I'm going to learn everything. It's like, I truly see that you're passionate about it, and your perfectionism, like, helps with that.
Well, yeah, no, it's photography and videography, it's such a complex world. There's so many rules, so many, you cannot do this and that, and there is so much things to understand. you have a piece of equipment that
Yeah, sometimes you're talking to me like about the ISO. He's like, you need the aperture and the exposure and the you're 150,000 this, and I'm like, because I can tell you've been. But when you watch something and you retain the information like a sponge, that's when you know you care about it.
no, but it's just because it's a completely different world.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. When I listen to a fitness podcast, I'm like soaking it in like a sponge because I care about
true,
it.
exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's exactly the same.
And
I just
yeah.
found something that I was like super interested about, and
Yeah.
I was like, you know what, like, because my mentality, it's like 0 or 100. It's like, you know what, if you really wanna go that direction, just be the best as you can be and try to study as much as you can be, you know. Because I wasn't a good kid at school. I never really studied hard. Like,
Yeah, you didn't care about that
yeah,
stuff. Yeah.
exactly. So I felt like I found something that I was like super interested, which is like, fuck, it's for me. I was doing one thing for my whole life,
Yeah.
just one thing, and then now I found something that is like refreshing. It's
Yeah.
a breath of fresh air,
Yeah.
and then you get to be my subject,
Well, and
which is super nice.
yeah, and so like I was like racking my brain. I was like, how can I do this so that we can both travel, surf, do what we love, be together, and make money? And so I was like, we bought our first camera like 6 months ago.
No, 4 months ago.
4?
Yeah, 4 months ago, and we upgraded
4, yeah.
last 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. So we bought our first camera and we're like, okay, we can film each other surfing now. Like, this is great. And our footage, like, we were, like, for me, I was like, yeah, this is pretty good. He was like, nah, exposure. But still, like,
Yeah.
that's why we upgraded, because he was like, it's not good enough. But anyways.
I mean,
so,
for me, babe. Sorry to cut you.
No, it's okay.
For me, if you're really trying to give the viewer the best experience, yeah, everything has to be dialed in. Everything has to be, yes.
Perfectionist. And so,
Yes.
but that's the beautiful part. It's like when you're a content creator or you have like a partner that you work with, like you have to match each other and balance each other out and complement each other in a certain way. And I think we do that perfectly in our relationship and very perfectly in content creation, because I'm not a perfectionist. So he's going to spend the time perfecting something that I wouldn't quite spend the time perfecting. But like I will create the substance and I'll do the edit, and then he does the tweaks and the perfecting. So it's been great, and we've had like so much fun. We've had a couple trips under the belt that we vlog, all of them on YouTube, and we're just kind of getting started, and we have a lot coming.
I mean, you know, it's gonna take the time it's gonna take. For me, I'm not worried. I believe that what we're gonna share in the next few months, and what we've been sharing, the camera we have now, just everything, you know, it's like, and who cares if it doesn't work out? At least we did it.
No, but like we're having fun doing it, and like I think we still have some stuff to learn. Like we
Of
obviously
course.
want to bring the best vlogs. We want to show you guys how much fun we're having on these trips and like us together, and then also like provide value, information on these trips, and show you freaking incredible surfing. And we have a freaking good year lined up that we're starting next week, actually.
The dream tour.
Yeah, our dream tour.
Our dream tour.
But we have some really, really great questions from some fellow Instagram followers and TikTok followers that I want to get into because they're pretty good.
Yeah, bring it on.
All right. So what do you guys do to spend time together besides surfing? We were doing it just before coming here.
Ellie watches.
I watch.
What do you
Don't act
mean,
like it's
I
my
watch?
show.
Ellie watches love shows.
No.
While I
is-
watch photography shows.
No, liar.
What do you mean, liar?
This is,
It's exactly what we're doing. I watch stuff about photography and videography, and you watch stuff about Love Island.
okay, what about like last year? I'm sorry, he was so invested. We were so invested.
No, I am.
It's the
I love
best.
it.
It's
I love
honestly
it.
like, okay, not just Love Island, but in general, like we watched everything there is to watch on Netflix. because we travel a lot. You watch every movie on the airplane. You watch a lot of Netflix. Like, we did that. That was our time. Like, that was he loves it. Loves movies. Like, when I met you,
There's
I was
no
like,
one movie I didn't watch, by the
it's
way.
very true. It's
By
very
the
true.
way.
Very true. So when we first started traveling together, that was like his happy place, was like kind of escaping life and falling into this movie. And I found that so interesting when I first met him. And so we got we watched everything on Netflix. So we started going to YouTube, and we found Love Island like a long time ago. We watched episodes on. Anyways, reality TV shows are so great. Like, especially love and dating shows with your partner are so good. Like,
Yeah, because you have different viewpoints.
different viewpoints. You can like break it down and be like, oh no, she was wrong, he was wrong.
And then you get into the fight with your own girlfriend.
No, but
You know it. You know what? That's what happens.
okay. But to be fair, it's like, it's really fun. I highly recommend it. What's your priority right now?
Whoa. I feel like that could be answered like, oh yeah,
In a
just
lot of
serve
different
good
ways,
waves.
yeah.
But I think my true priority is like going to Indo.
Yeah, that's
No. I like without being funny or anything. I just believe that going to Indo and to have our planning, that's like my priority right
Yeah.
now. Just to
Yeah.
be able to do my best over there and smash it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say mine's kind of the same. I'm really working on. I got like a new little motivation on my businesses, my plans and everything. Like website wise and email list wise, and like I have two retreats I'll be hosting this year, and my first like girls coaching trip, surf coaching trip in the men's. So like I'm excited for this year, and I feel like I wanna just like I love my job, and I just want to keep doing that and really do that with you this year, and
Oh,
I'm really excited for
there's
that.
no turning back now.
No.
We're on.
Yeah. If you weren't surfing, what do you think you'd do as a job?
Yeah. To be honest, I haven't figured a job that I would be happy and fulfilled and like not.
You haven't tried much besides surfing.
I know, but
Yeah. You know?
no.
Okay. I think I would dive super deep into like personal training and just be a really hardcore gym girl.
Yeah, what's his name? The one that
Sam Sulek.
Yeah, Ellie Sulek.
Not like that. Okay. Ooh, what's something that irritates you or about the other person, or like a pet peeve?
A pet peeve?
Yeah.
Jeez, I have a lot about you. Huh?
Come on.
Um,
I have a couple about you too.
man, you've been on the road the last 3 days. I cannot breathe when I'm not
Oh my
in
god,
the same
it's
room.
a joke. Come on, it's a joke.
Guys, she's been going into the we're in 2 different rooms now. Oh my god, we
'Cause
have
we
a
have a
house. We have a house with 2 different rooms. It's not just one
We have
room with the
7 rooms.
kitchen. No,
Yeah.
I know, but
Yeah.
yeah, she's like, can you breathe without me in the same room?
It was a joke. It was a joke. No, but for real, my love language is one of my love languages is physical touch. Okay, here's one for you. Along with my love language of physical touch, I believe there is an unspoken love language of meme sending. Okay,
Meme
sending. I send him reels. He doesn't look at them. The fuck is that? He doesn't even watch them. And then,
No, I do watch
And then I
them.
have to like remind, like if you open your TikTok, which he doesn't open ever, you will have so many funny TikToks in there from me and you don't watch them. I think that when you send somebody like a meme that they think is hilarious, you watched it and you were like, they will think this is so funny. They're thinking of you, and that's like it's a love language.
Sure, I used to do that before, and I used to send all my friends like 1,000
Yeah, but
memes.
it's not just like, I think this is funny, let me send it out. It's, you would think this is funny, I'm sending it to you.
There's
My-
not
like,
much
my-
difference.
like, my-
There's nothing different about.
You just watch my memes, okay? Just watch them. And then another one. Okay, when, along with my physical touch being my love language, I'm a very simple human being, I think. I don't require much. And I love just slight tickles on the arm.
Yeah.
You know, when you're cuddling, or just on the shoulder, the leg, whatever. We're like watching a show, and I'm like, oh, like, can I have some tickles? And he's like, man brain, focusing on one thing on the show. It's like, I don't know if you can see this. It'll be like, forgot about me. Show, just just cannot do two things at once. All I want is my tickles. Okay. Do you have another one, or can we move on?
No. I'm trying to go to bed in the same bed tonight.
Okay. Fair. Do you think you'll stay living in Portugal or move somewhere else later?
No, it's over. We're not moving anymore.
Yeah, but we're traveling. We're always traveling. But
no, I know,
that's
but
home.
the way of living is
That's
here.
home. Yes, that's home.
Yeah.
That's home. What is the topic we fight about the most? Why? If you fight about anything, LOL. We don't really fight
No,
that
we don't
much.
fight at all.
Yeah.
We don't fight at all. It's just Eddie is super needy and
No, I just have certain times of the month when I'm emotional. And we've been, like, to be fair, though, when we haven't been traveling, we've been here in Portugal for almost 3 months, which is the longest time we've ever been here. And we only spend our time together, hence why I'm picking up his accent. And we found ourselves arguing. Yeah, close quarters. We found ourselves arguing about the stupidest thing, which might have just been me being emotional.
no,
But
you
I
think?
think he...
You think? Really?
think he was
arguing
kind
about
of-
toilet paper? What? Hello?
He was kind of egging it on, though, to be fair.
No, I think we're both stabbing each other anyway.
Just a little bit. No,
But-
but it's never it's never malicious. We never really fight. We don't have any toxicity or anything like that.
No.
All right, now what's your favorite thing about each other?
Can we go back to
Silence.
Can we go back to the one that was the worst?
No, I have one I like about you.
Nah, you're definitely I think one of the best person I've met.
Oh,
Yeah, they're just
everything.
a global, but them some things you do. Oh my god.
Okay, well, this is gonna make my favorite thing about you seem stupid,
Okay.
but I really like it.
Yeah.
So I would say it started happening about 3 or 4 years ago. He got super confident with his English, and now he tries to correct my English, which is fine. But my favorite thing is he watches a lot of streamers and a lot of he'll just say English words out of context, not knowing what they mean, and just be so convinced that that's the right word for the context. You've been saying this one recently. He's been saying enigma, so randomly.
Enigma.
Yeah, you're like, it's an enigma. And I'm like, what?
How do you say it?
No, that's the right way to say it. It's just the context you used it.
Exactly. If it's the right way to say it, let me say it.
No, it's the right way of pronouncing it, but complete wrong sentence. Do you know what I mean? Yeah.
No, I don't know what you
I
mean.
don't even know what I mean. Aw.
You're an enigma.
Okay. Okay, moving on. We're on to the fun ones now. What's something you want to try but you haven't had the chance to yet?
Whoa. Point blank.
Okay.
What was yours? Say yours first.
Well, in the simple, I really need to try foiling.
Foiling.
I haven't tried foiling yet.
That's true.
Yeah. That
So fun.
and the bungee jumping on a bridge. That looks fun. I have so many things I want to try. I really would love to go to an elephant sanctuary.
Okay, I would like to touch a tiger.
Ooh.
Yeah, hang out with a tiger.
Good one. Good one. I want to hug a bear, but it's pretty similar. How to not get pissed off at my partner who also surfs and gets more waves than me? You can answer this because I surf way better than you. I get so many more waves than you.
So repeat the question. How?
To not get... Oh, that's weird. You didn't even hear the question, so then you missed my joke. Awkward. Okay. How to not get pissed off at my partner who also surfs and gets way more waves than me. You got to use that to your advantage, girl.
No, just don't be
should
jealous.
He should be blocking for you.
No, don't be jealous. It's like,
Honestly, I do like that about you. I grew up like tough love, like from my mom. It's like, oh, you hurt yourself, like get up, walk it off.
you know what we say in
And
French?
we're the same kind
You know
of.
what
You're
we
the
say in
same.
French?
What?
Pas de bras, pas de chocolat.
No leg, no chocolate.
No arm,
No arm,
no
no
chocolate. So if you cannot catch the wave,
Ah, that's good.
no chocolate.
Okay.
So no waves.
All right, I like it.
Yeah.
And let's do one more. If you suddenly won the lotto, what would be the first thing you buy?
Sure. I'll buy a Red, a Phantom, the drone that costs 16 grand. And then I'll book a trip to the Mants.
Okay.
And then, yeah, go
Good.
from there.
I like it. You know, I've actually thought about this question before, and I'm pretty psyched to say that, like, if I won the lotto, I would, like, keep doing the same I was doing, just, like, a lot more. Like,
It's
I'd go
a
on...
lie, though.
No, but I'd go on a lot of surf trips. I'd bring all this baggage I want.
No,
all
I
the
know.
luggage I want.
I know, but instead of doing responding to emails in the
No,
morning
no,
and stuff,
of course,
you'd be
I
like,
wouldn't need-
okay,
yeah.
manager here, manager there.
Of course, yeah, the little things, yeah. But, like, I would
Yeah.
just take all my friends on surf trips,
Of course, yeah.
and...
The ones that believed, huh?
Yeah. You know who you are. I'm just kidding. I don't have to. I'm just kidding.
I do.
Oh, okay. I love it. You're like protective over me. It's cute.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways.
Before we close it, let's go through a few things. This is the first podcast.
Yes.
We want to thank Ericeira Surf
Surf Podcast Labs. It's a new name.
Yeah, sorry. Ericeira Podcast Lab.
He's like grabbing his head like, oh shit.
But this is pre-Ments, pre-Elsa, pre-Mex, pre-Nick,
We're abbreviating everything now.
pre-Tex.
Pre-text. Yeah.
Now, because we're going to the Ments, to El Salvador, to Nicaragua, to Mexico, to Texas.
Possibly Texas. If a freaking wave pool wants to have us, we're the only people in the world,
well.
in the surfing world, that hasn't been invited to a wave pool. We're a bit salty about it.
So, yeah, if they don't want us, they don't want us.
Yeah, it's fine. No, anyways, yeah, we got a big year, and we're really excited to like bring you guys all these vlogs, all the content. Hopefully, it's a lot of fun. Hopefully, you guys enjoy it, and hopefully, more podcasts. We're planning to do like one a month.
No. We're gonna do one every time it matters,
Yeah, I guess.
so we can have stuff to talk about.
Yeah,
I think this one is great. You guys should
get to know us
like and share.
and subscribe.
Yeah.
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 Cheers, mate.